As the first humans to ever venture out this far into the frontier.
Too fast! Sensitive point damage.
Get out!
I thought we were both goners.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the DX Gamer Show. I'm Operation DX, and welcome to the 6th episode of my Planet Explorers version 0.72 Let's Play. During the previous episode, I went on a hunting safari to gather a little bit of meat, and then I got a quest from Chen to build some sentry turrets. I then concluded the episode by mining some iron to get to the copper, and I continued mining after the episode all the way till I got the mission complete and gathered a good amount of copper, along with some other materials like coal and tin and that sort of stuff. So we've got everything to fulfill that quest, but it did take the entire rest of the day, so I'm going to go ahead and take this opportunity to sleep inside of the cave, as this is kind of a somewhat safe area to try to sleep, although we got to be careful because those spider crab glowy eye thingies may come down here to attack me. So it's a good idea to sleep in a camp where there's light. I did have some torches running, which would have helped, but those torches have since burned out. As you can see, there's one there, and there's one at the entrance. So now we are on day 3, and I'm going to go ahead and meet up with Chen and fulfill the quest so that I can build some sentry turrets. I also believe he'll give me some bullets, and I believe I've got myself enough meat to buy a rifle. So if I get enough ammo, I will be a force to be reckoned with. I'm going to need to update my map, as I discovered that there is also coal along with the iron and copper in this meteorite. So I'm going to have to just update my waypoint here and make sure I know that. Coal becomes an important resource later on during the base building phase, as it is needed to get your power plant up and running. But again, I always like to get ahead of myself and talk about things that are way, way in the future. We still have a ton of ground to cover before that's even remotely going to happen. Okay, so let's head over to Chen and get some of these goodies here. Great. You keep them this time. Here's the script for the sentry turret type 1. I'll throw in 2 of them as a bonus. Make them count. Very good. Now we have ourselves a couple of sentry turrets, and we are not going to want to use those to hunt with. We're going to hold on to those for later on. As you can see, my pickaxe is red in the inventory. I did spend its entire durability to mine all that stuff out, so I'm going to go ahead and just sell it. I can just craft another one because we have plenty of copper. I also just bought the rifle, which is going to be very helpful, and I'm actually going to buy a bunch of bullets as well. That is actually going to make me a force to be reckoned with. By purchasing the rifle, I'm going to be substantially more effective in combat. This is going to help me be able to collect a lot of meat in a much quicker manner. The sword is also going to help when I want to just cut down some of those docile creatures that aren't going to attack, and I don't want to waste the bullets. But it also helps for creatures that are going to try to run away from me. If I get a couple hits with them on the sword, I only need to shoot them once possibly to get them from running away from me, and I don't have to chase them down with a sword or anything like that. So we are definitely going to equip the rifle. I was actually able to buy a bunch of bullets for it too, so we're going to be in pretty good shape here for a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and just hit the stack button. That button is, of course, very helpful as it stacks items that are broken in several stacks throughout your inventory, and it reorganizes your inventory. It makes it really helpful to find things because you do get a lot of items in this game. You also notice that my crafting list in my replicator is starting to become more extensive. That actually becomes a problem in organization much later down the line. Fortunately, it is organized in alphabetical order, but if you're not sure what the name of the item is, it actually can become pretty difficult. There is a tool in the replicator to kind of reorganize everything or organize it into different categories, but it doesn't seem to be working properly at this stage of the alpha.
Alright, go on ahead. I'll be right there. Huh?
We have fulfilled all the main storyline quest stuff with Chen at this time. We'll meet him back at the second camp. We're going to move on to the other location where the other scout is supposed to be and see if he's had any luck finding some survivors. As we make our way over to the quest area, we are going to be just as opportunistic as we have been in the past. We're probably going to be doing a lot of hunting, and you're going to see just how effective this rifle is. We have it on our hotbar, so we actually just switched from the rifle to our sword, and that iron sword is really great for taking these guys down, and it makes things a lot easier. We can actually, if we're careful, engage the greenbacks and get ourselves a lot of meat that way. We're really starting to change our status here on Maria, as we started off being the hunted, and we had to be really careful on which animals we engaged and which animals we got near, and now we're kind of shifting into the hunter, and we can really kind of take things down a little easier. The rifle, however, is a game changer, and as long as we can find a way to maintain ammo, we are a force to be reckoned with. We're certainly by no means at the top of the food chain. That one creature that we fought earlier that was fighting the greenback can certainly still take us out pretty easily, and we haven't even seen the most ferocious creatures, which we'll see as we dig deeper into the landscape of Maria. I'm trying to be conservative right now with my rifle, as bullets still at this point are somewhat of a valuable resource. I'm looking for an opportunity to use it in an effective manner, especially if there's a lot of meat, and it looks like I just found the opportunity. So as long as there's no other greenbacks around the greenback behind us, we're actually going to engage him. Now we want to engage him at range so that we can kind of kite him a little bit and try to do as much damage as we possibly can do to him before he rolls up on our location. So I'm already starting to back off a little bit here, and I'm just going to start engaging him and fire this gun as fast as I possibly can, because it's going to get ugly if he gets up on me. Looks like I've done about 50% damage to him. Things are going well, and I've taken him down. Oops, I accidentally hit one of the other creatures, and I aggroed every single one of them. Hopefully I can get in there and grab that meat before they actually get a shot on here. But yep, I was able to do it, but look at how this can actually be a bad situation for me. So let me get the crap out of here. They were all ticked. I took one shot of that guy, and it was pretty bad. But I got out of there. I'm actually able to take on the greenbacks. I wasn't sure if I was able to do it because there's actually two different style of rifles that you can buy. There's the upgraded version, which does a little more damage. There's also a rifle trigger and grip, and we can custom build our own gun in this game, which is also another cool thing that you can do. So not only can you craft swords, but you can also craft guns. And you can build some crazy guns. Guns with like 4 barrels or all kinds of stuff, and it's really neat that you can do that. We're probably not going to spend a bunch of time building that kind of stuff, as the weapons in this game right now are sufficient. Some of the things we have to use the editor for, we will do, like the cars and the helicopters and that sort of thing, but we're not going to see that for a little while. I will at some point stop and kind of show the editor and how it kind of works using like a sword or something, and I'll do that real quick just to kind of give an example of it. Probably would be a good idea for this Let's Play. But yeah, there's a lot of really cool things that you can do with the editor, and it's a pretty awesome thing to actually have in a game like this, because if you're not happy with the guns or whatever, you can just make your own custom gun. It is pretty awesome. And see that there? We took 3 shots, but we actually only scored 2 hits, and we were able to just like cut that guy down really quick, and we can run over, grab the meat. That's how ridiculous once you have a firearm is, and it makes you so much more effective. I absolutely love it. So if you see creatures running across the field there, just break out the gun and shoot. And that's actually another hostile creature right there. And it looks like, oh, he didn't take the other guy out. I'm going to go ahead and finish him off so I can grab the meat from both. And that's how this works, man. It's so much more effective. Although this is kind of slowing us down to the next quest location. However, by doing this stuff, we can actually minimize on the mining, and we can just buy ore flat out from some of the NPCs if we get enough meat. That's not something I typically do too often, but if we need to craft something in a crunch and there's NPCs around, it's good to have a bunch of meat. So that's why it's good to be opportunistic. Okay, so I can kind of see the quest location in the background there. It's that big, giant tree-looking thing, mushroom tree thing in the background, and it's just over that kind of like ridge where we can see the beach. So we're going to head over in that direction. And look at that, we have another greenback. He's all by himself, so we're going to take him on too. I may have engaged him a little too closely. He's rolling up on me a lot quicker, and I seem to be doing a little less damage. There are also different classes or sizes of these creatures, so like the baby ones actually take a lot less damage than the adult versions of them, and I think this is actually an adult version. For some reason, he actually didn't score too many hits on me. He probably would have killed me in 2 hits like the other creature, but I just kind of got lucky there, and that's another good score there. If I were playing the game for the first time, one of the things I would be doing as I make my way down to this next quest location is I would be breaking out the scanner and be scanning the ground constantly to try to find mineral locations. But because I have gone through this a couple of times, I'm kind of aware of some of the major spots where some of the high-end minerals are located. But I haven't found them all, so it may not be a bad idea from time to time to break out the scanner. There are, I know there's aluminum, and I think there's coal somewhere in this area. When we make our way back to the second camp, we'll probably run into that straight on from this direction. So I'll definitely break out the scanner for that. And then why not grab a couple of plants here just to give us the ability to craft more healing stuff, because I haven't actually been picking these up a lot lately. And we just happen to have a plant fiber kind of tree along the way, so we might as well cut this guy down. And if we continue progressing through the story, it won't be long before we have the iron set. So we definitely want to get all those tools, the better tools, as soon as we possibly can. You know what seems kind of crazy is I've, gone through the story a couple of times, and it took me a pretty long time to get through that portion. And it seems like it's only like a small part of what's going to be left in the game, because some of the areas of the map are locked off and you can't get to them. And it's a fairly substantial area of the map, so just kind of judging by where the quest kind of leads up to in 0.72, it seems like there's a whole lot more of the game coming along here. So it's going to be kind of interesting to see how this game progresses. And I'm really happy with the direction and how this game is progressing. And I love some of the suggestions on the forum, and I made a few suggestions myself, and the boards seem not super active, but it does seem like, I don't know if he's a developer or the forum moderator that has direct access to the developer or whatever, does comment quite a bit on a lot of the posts, and I like that. It's not something you often see with games that are in development, besides some of the really good ones where you got people interacting all the time. But typically you don't see the devs interacting a lot in the forums. I mean, I've only seen it in a very few amount of circumstances, like Starbound and some other games that I watch the boards quite often. Okay, so we have fulfilled the conditions for this quest, and it seems the scout that was looking for survivors over here himself is missing, and all that is left behind was his pack, which we've collected. And now we're going to return back to the second camp and continue on in the adventure. If I make my way directly back to the camp, I should be running into this kind of underground cave network. It's actually a really good place to mine, but there actually is a better place for alumina, but I know there's some resources in that cave network. Another thing we'll probably see in that cave network is some spiders. That place is crawling with those creepy crab spiders that we've yet to see, and they usually come out at nighttime, so they must live in these underground caves during the day because you don't really see them. Ooh, that's a big one of these guys. Do you have a lot of meat on you? Not too bad. We're also getting a lot of other materials that will allow us to craft food dishes. That's another thing that's so awesome about the gardening and stuff is, you know, you're collecting these animal parts or whatever, like you're noticing like we got some ribs and some other stuff. We can actually start making these like native food dishes, and they give us a lot more stamina than, say, the average smoked sausage, which I'm eating a lot of right now. So my guy's dietary needs are probably not being fulfilled because all I'm eating is these smoked sausages, apparently made with animal fat and torches. Tasty, tasty, tasty. So if you look yonder there, you've probably noticed a big hole in the ground, and that is the cave network that I was just talking about. So we're going to go ahead and head over in that direction and go ahead and lay down a marker on the map. We'll go ahead and take a peek down to see if we can spot one of those scary crab spider creatures. Yep, there's one right there running from the top. You see him? Oh my gosh, they're so freaking creepy, dude, with the glowing eyes, and oh, they're ridiculous. But I do know that there are some ore deposits around here, so let's just double check and see what we got. So we have aluminum for sure. There is no zinc, so let's see what else we have here. Some silver, nope. Some iron, nope. Some copper, nope. Gold, nope. Coal, yep. So we have aluminum and coal here, so this is a good spot to take notice of. Unfortunately, this cave network drops really far below the surface, and because it does that, for some reason when you dig down too far, you run into the water. I think that's also something that's supposed to be corrected in later versions, but it makes it hard to mine some of the stuff, and that's why I say there's actually a better aluminum spot, and there's a better coal spot too. However, we will keep a note here saying that these resources are here if we need to check them out for whatever reason. But that's going to wrap things up for this episode, guys. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Have a great day and take care.